good morning, good morning, and how are you?
Good morning. I'm good, thank you. Just like you were tired. We're always tired on a Monday. I think we need to move the show to
Called
another day, you
Tired
know.
Monday, yeah?
Yeah, Tuesday, tired Tuesday.
Tired Tuesday, yeah.
Well, I hope everyone's all right and good morning to everyone. It feels like a hot minute since we've been back. Honestly, honestly. So good morning to Kelsa P, Miss Sugar Sweet, and First Lady on Sharky DJ and Annette, DJ Annette on HPQ's Mixcloud. As you can hear, my voice is gone. It's gone.
Mm.
It's gone. It's going. Too much talking. But I heard you talking about the Reggae VIP Weekender, which is where we were. You can see we got new
Mm-hmm.
T-shirts. We got our mugs.
Mm.
Where's it? Where's yours? Where's yours? You got yours?
Yes, got it right here.
Ah. So did you tell them all about the Reggae Weekender? What fun it was. And those of you that have never been, you've got to try it. Honestly, it was an absolute weekend of stuff to do from the Friday all the way through up until the Sunday evening where it actually closed. And it was just fantastic. Friday evening we went out, Saturday and Sunday, every day actually. And then obviously we were doing all the entertainment in the afternoons. So
Mm.
it was good fun. It was good fun.
Yeah,
Definitely got to go. You know, right, Sharky DJ.
absolutely. I'll tell you, right, it was one of the first times I've actually made it up, especially when we were working there, doing some stuff in the daytime, quizzes and bingo and all sorts, salsa, line dancing, and got up in the evening as well and partied to the morning and had to get up the next morning. It was very tiring indeed. It was a lot of work and a lot of fun. And it's the first time actually I didn't actually sleep right through the whole night. We were like, "Right, it's time for us to get up." One was encouraging the other. It was good.
We were indeed. It was just
And
like,
you
come
know
on,
what?
we got to go.
For me, the music was very, very good. The DJs played very well. The balance was nice. There's a great selection of music, and the Sunday night, which it's normally kind of calm on the Sunday night, it was like exciting, like the Friday and the Saturday. It was very, very good indeed. DJs were playing two tracks each, which was kind of weird, but it worked. It really worked.
Oh, it was fantastic. I really, really had a good time. And it's on twice a year. It's on in March and then again in November. But November this year I won't be there. So, you know
Mm.
what? I'll look forward to next year, I could say. I've got a whole year to rework and come back and relax. But
Yeah.
yes, that was our weekend. It was fantastic. Hope you guys get to go. This was done by Orlando Musical Therapy. That's right, in
Mm.
conjunction with Scott. Now, one, one of the things I want to talk about is some of the movies that I've watched over the weekend. Now, Sharky is into Beauty in Black, as with everybody. You were just binge watching that show, although it's been done a
Oh.
long time ago. You're way behind.
Yeah. Well, I've caught up now. I definitely can't wait until the next series comes out. There's a lot of twists, a lot of skullduggery, a lot of backstabbing, and yes, definitely one to watch. And the other one I want is what's that one? Beauty. I thought another series came out.
Savage Beauty.
Savage Beauty. I can't wait for the next series to come out of that as well. So it's quite good. The other thing I was watching on Netflix is Temptation. It's about dedicated couples like us. We go, there's trust issues in a relationship, and they put temptations in front of all these couples, and they go on dates with other people and see if they get tempted. Oh, I really don't understand. I think if you really want to know if your relationship is strong or you want to ruin it, you go on that show, because it's
Oh,
about all these contestants on there. They're all single and they're all looking for partners and they're trying to get your partner, and they do everything they can to get that partner.
and the worst thing is that they are obviously accommodating for the partner's fantasies and needs.
Mm,
So, you've got the girl right there that looks like how you might want them to look and maybe act like how you want them to act. And therefore, the temptation is just there. It's just there. And then if they're going back and arguing with their partner for the next week, they're off.
no, of
Or we're
course.
off. It stands to reason that people will be tempted if you put something sometimes in front of them
Mm,
that they actually want. It's like Adam and Eve with the cat with the apple in it. He took it.
mm,
He was living in in ecstasy, you could almost say, and they decided that they were tempted by an apple, and look what happened. So, there's a
Yeah.
moral to that story, but not everyone will heed it. But yeah, those programs are wicked.
Come
That's all I can say.
tell us what the moral is.
Grass is not always greener on the other side.
No, it's not. Definitely not, and you can put, I mean, and that shows like there was some temptations there, and you guys got to go and watch that. It's actually quite a different type of reality program. They're not really big into some of the reality programs. A lot of it's acting, but if they do want relationships and they try to get yours, I mean, imagine that you break up with your partner for this person and then they end up disappearing because it's all a show really at the end of the day.
And that's what happens a lot with affairs, right? You have an affair because this person just seems like a perfect person. They're always
Mm.
going to look good. You don't have to wake up with them in the morning. You don't have
Mm.
to watch their every move. You always see them looking good. So of course they're going to be
Yeah.
your perfect fantasy. But when reality sets in and you start waking up in the morning with them as you did with your wife, you still see that there's not much differences. Subtle differences. But each to their own. Some people who are actually having problems in their marriage, sometimes it works out for them. But if you're not
Mm.
and you want to go in these shows, you will have problems.
Definitely,
No
definitely.
ifs or buts about it.
In my heart, you're the best. So much better than the rest.
I'll tell you, if you go on that island, you better be singing that 24/7, So you
You
just,
better be
it's your
singing it.
mantra. She
Now
is
you better be
better than
singing
the
it.
rest.
It's a woman singing that.
Oh,
Tell you
thanks
what,
for all the chat there. I didn't see it. Mixcloud plays up sometimes. You've got to just
it
refresh
does.
the screen and then everything comes up. I felt like no one was responding today, but now
Good
I see
morning,
everything.
DGC. Good morning, good morning.
And good morning, Susan Simpson. D. Brown Spice. Nice. Oh, gosh. Now I'm seeing everything. Good morning, everybody. And you are correct that all that glitters is not gold. That's what people find out to their detriment, right? But the other film that I watched is The Lost Children. Now, this happened last year. 4 children were in a plane crash. They were from an indigenous family somewhere in the Amazon, around the region, and it crashed in one of the deepest, densest parts of the Amazon jungle. Imagine, not even
Mm.
just in the jungle, not the outskirts, but right in the dense forest. And the problem is that when the plane crashed, they went on the hunt looking for it because they realised it was. I think there was 3 people. There was two pilots, and then there was obviously a family on the plane. Now there was 4 children on that plane as well. So they got the helicopters in, the military, and they hunted for. I think it was after 10 days they found the wreckage deep in the jungle. They said it was so thick you literally have to chop each tree in front of you. You can't just walk. You have to literally chop down as you're walking. And then they realised that they found all the bodies of the passengers that were on the plane, but they couldn't find 4 children. Now, these children was a young girl, 14, an 11-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 11-month-year-old baby. That's it.
Good
And
11-month-year-old baby.
yeah, 11 month,
Month-old baby. Tongue twisted.
11-month-year-old. Sorry, 11-month baby. Sorry, can't believe I said year old.
You know
So there
what?
was
You've
4
just
of them.
woken up tongue twisting.
There you go.
Go for it.
And they couldn't find the children in the wreckage. They couldn't find evidence that they were around or died. So they kind of assumed that the children were alive. So a massive search party went on. Now, there was a fight between the indigenous people. The indigenous people said, we know the Amazon jungle. We're going to go and look for them. We'll be able to find them. They teamed up with the military and they kind of set off in different camps. And they literally scoured this perimeter of the Amazon jungle. But in the end, right, miss out some of the middle bits, they found them after 40 days. 40 days, these 4 children were in the middle of the densest part of the Amazon jungle and survived.
Wow.
And when they found them, they were on the verge of collapse because what they did, they did some brilliant things, like the helicopters came out with loudspeakers saying, go to a river. If you can hear the sound, follow the sound. But the little girl was disorientated. She was saying she could hear it, but she just couldn't get to the voices. And she fed off of fruits that her mother told her what to look for, to forage for. So they lived on some fruits and I think some little bits of water that they found in plants. And they said that another couple of days they would have been dead. I mean, they were completely dehydrated, malnourished. The youngest boy couldn't walk. He could not walk any further. They were having to carry him, and the 11-month-old baby. If you'd seen pictures of it, I mean, if you'd seen a malnourished baby, it was heart wrenching. But they all survived, and that's the thankful part. It was just a beautiful story to find that they all survived in the end. Not one of them died. They didn't get attacked by animals. They said that they hid inside of inside of empty trees that are fallen, inside caves. And imagine the rainforest, it rained. It wasn't like it was sunshine and warm. It literally rained for the majority of the time. So I don't know what condition their feet was in, having been in water and no shoes. Oh,
Do you know
heart-wrenching.
what? HPQ, I don't need to watch it now.
I know, giving away the whole. Well, it's in the news. It's actually
I
in the
know.
news, so it's not like a story that's got a plot that I'm going to give away. It was something that happened last year.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and it's a beautiful
I remember
story.
reading that story. Yeah, and I'll tell you what, it must be. I remember when I went to Jamaica last. I had this small car that I was driving. I wasn't meant to hire a car. In the end, I hired one. I took a wrong turn. If I was actually going to see your dad, and I turned off into this road, and it just ended up. And I was just driving, and people were looking at me. No one turned around.
Just 1 second, darling. Just have a look at the chat I sent you. It's quite important, but carry on.
Okay.
Yeah. But as you were saying,
Okay. Yeah. Um,
sorry, I put you off there, didn't I?
yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, the thing about it is, I took a wrong turn in, and it looks like we got some.
We've got a new person, Minnie Merck. Good morning, Minnie Merck. I'm not quite sure what you're putting in the
Water.
chat.
Sound like
Bunch
a
fit,
Jamaican
haying.
water. But anyway,
Yeah.
I took a wrong turn in. Anyway, went down to this road, to a dirt road, and it went smaller and smaller and smaller. And I kept driving because the sat nav was taking me. Sat nav was taking me on this road. So I'm carrying on this road, and it just turned out to be bushes. So I could imagine ain't even anything what these people went through, but there was no road, and I was just following a trail, and it became obvious between me and my uncle that this particular road was obviously a non-used road, and the residents obviously looked at us like we were mad people, and we ended up down through bushes. I actually didn't think I was going to actually make it out of there, but after about 2 hours, I managed to, get over these rocks and through this path and came back through another side. I thought, you know what? If I say anything like that again, I am definitely not going to be doing no wrong turning. So I could imagine what those kids went through. I mean, I was frightened for 2 hours. So I was going through that for 40 days. Wow, that's incredible.
It is incredible and a great story of
Mm.
survival. It kind of just shows that in circumstances, will your survival skills kick in?
Yeah.
I mean, what survival skills do we know? I mean, if we got dropped in the middle of the jungle, what are you going to do? How
Listen,
would you survive?
I said to my uncle, I'm going to record this, right, to show people what we went through. My uncle said, I don't want to remember it. He said, I don't want to remember it. See, I love that one. Alima. Anyway, HBQ.
Yeah, we are back. And the other thing I was reading in the news the other day is Carnival's always in the news. Coming up to this time of the year, there's always something about Carnival and cause for it to be closed and shut down. But one of the things that alerted me to this piece of news was about Volcano sound system. Now, Volcano have one of the biggest sound systems in London, in the London Notting Hill Carnival. They have an excellent site, corner of some, I don't know, they get more than 1,000 people in there anyway. And they go and they get their correct licenses. However, the police are calling for the sound system to be completely shut down because a partygoer had a glass bottle smashed over their head. Now, apparently they were
Wow.
saying it was someone wearing a Volcano T-shirt, and that Volcano did nothing to assist the person or call the police or call an ambulance. Now, it was in a footprint of the sound system. I don't know what a footprint means. Is that a mile? 10 minutes? 2 seconds? I don't know. And they're calling for the stand's license to be revoked. Now, Courtney White, I don't know if you know him, I know him. He said none of his staff were involved in the incident. But they're saying what happened is there was a drunken partygoer who was refused entry into the VIP area that they had. And while the man was being removed from the area, he was assaulted by 2 other people who hit him over the head with a glass bottle. Now, following the assault, there was no attempt by Volcano or anyone to assist this person or call the police or an ambulance. and this is what has resulted in his license being called for to revoke. Because part of the license, if something happens around you, you are bound by duty to assist or help, and that's the thing that they did actually wrong.
Mm.
Volcano have admitted this and saying that they're going to try and put forward an appeal to hold their sound system place for next year. It would be a shame if their license was revoked for
Mm.
this. It really is. I hope not. When we go to, all I keep saying is Glastonbury, right? We know this happens in Glastonbury. And you don't see licenses revoked. You don't hear about things like this. But not in here, it happens a lot. We know this, right? We know this.
Yeah.
And
I think obviously, as a sound system, if something happens in your area, you definitely have a responsibility for the people in your area because you've got the mic, you've got that control. That's very, very important. You just can't carry on music. One thing I have to say with Seduction City, the only female sound, if anything goes on in that area, many years we've been doing the sound for them, they will shut it down and ensure that everything is safe before we carry on. And I think sometimes some sounds they just get excited and they're not taking that action of care. You've got thousands of people around passing through your system. You need to control it. And every sound in their area has to control what goes on. So if there's some ruckus going on, some fight, stop the music, deal with it, then put the music back on. You can't just carry on.
yeah, I know.
So, I mean, it's just
But
common
it's but
sense,
it's
really.
but it depends. I mean, if they didn't see the incident, how
Yeah.
are they supposed to assist? If there were stewards nearby, then yes.
Mm.
But they're saying it was someone in a Volcano t-shirt. But the problem is they sell Volcano t-shirts,
Yeah.
so it could have
So,
been
well,
anybody.
maybe the answer next time is make sure that they have stewards about people that, you know, I don't know. And I know it's hard, but obviously when you've got thousands of people around you and you've got incidents going on, maybe security, I don't know, security costs money all day long, but there has to be, even if you've got people that's, watching what's going on or some kind of, and normally in the area, I think I saw a video of that bottling when it happened, and it was in front of the sound system. It was quite close to the sound system from what I saw.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So
So they did
maybe,
have a duty of care
yeah,
there for that
it
person. Let's
wasn't
have
like
a
it wasn't at the back of the sound. I think it was in the middle. They were dancing right near the sound, and it all happened and blew up, and then the crowd kind of dispersed, and you could see the two of them in the middle. So I remember seeing that video. I didn't know which sound system it was, but if it's the same one, the sound system definitely had a view of what was going on.
Gosh, that shows you the power of CCTV, right?
Mm.
Because they've got CCT cameras everywhere. There's nothing
Everywhere,
you can
yeah.
do and try and get away with it. It is just not happening anymore. So be
Mm.
careful out there. DJ Rudy, good
Big
morning.
up.
Jazz Sunday, good morning as well. Kimmy Kim, good morning. Welcome to the stream.
Also, and HPQ platform, good morning, DJ Charlie, 1874. Is that the year you were born? I'm only joking.
And did you?
So, what do you have to say now?
Oh gosh, sorry, I just came back on there after getting myself a cup of tea.
Cup of cha.
A cup of cha. I can't even see everybody who's on the chat at the moment. My Mixcloud is playing up, so good morning to anybody else who's just recently joined. I see Susie Cruz there. I think I just saw a glimpse of that whilst I was just resetting my Mixcloud there. Now, one of the things in the news that I actually want to talk about was you alerted me to this, Sharky, in terms of Ryanair and Jet2, and they've warned that some passengers may require additional documents alongside their passports when you're ready to fly. So
Mm.
please don't just walk around with your passport when you go to the airport if you are flying on Jet2 and Ryanair. In fact, I always carry my driver's license and well, I don't carry my passport around with me, but I do carry my driver's license. And when I am traveling, I do carry a driver's license with me just for additional ID. But it looks like we're going to have to carry both now when you are traveling, according to news that we've been reading. Jet2 and Ryanair want you to carry additional documentation for
Mm-mm.
ID. Now, especially if you are pregnant, it's not going to apply to me, of course, but
I'm working on it.
you can only travel up to your 35th week or 32nd week if you have multiple pregnancies, expecting twins, etc. It's not going to be me. and you'll need a medical certificate. So just check now when you are flying to check for any restrictions, especially if you may be pregnant, and also if you are flying on one of these two airlines and you may need extra documentation. So please, flying's getting a little bit more well. They're saying it's getting less restrictive, but I feel like it's getting restrictive at the same time. So please check which countries you are flying to. Check that you need a visa, whether you need a visa for the countries that you are flying to. The amount of people I know that turn up and think, I didn't know I needed a visa. Don't rely on just the people that are organising the trips. Check out for yourself. There's government websites. There's the websites of the countries that you are visiting. And you have a duty of care to yourself to ensure that you have sorted yourself out and you are fit to fly, ready to fly, and you've got all the right documentation. None of us never want to see you left behind. None of us. But you know, there's occasions we nearly left someone behind for the reggae weekend, didn't we, when we were leaving?
Oh, gosh. I'll tell you, Shaz was not messing about. She was like, it's 10 o'clock. I told everyone 10 o'clock, we are leaving on the dot. And the girl's walking down. She goes, where is she? We're going. I was like, no, you can't leave her behind.
No, she was like, shut the coach. Come on, we're going now.
Shut the coach, we're going. It was like, oh, jeez.
Can't leave them stranded in Hemsby.
But you know what? I'm kind of in agreement with that. You know, we need to start taking that stance because when we go away, if you're going on, you know, you're flying away, everyone gets there on time. Yeah, they know if you mess about, you can't turn up half an hour late. The plane will be gone. And when we're going on trip, it's not fair to the people that come on time, and then people always make up excuses. This, that. Listen, right? If you're going somewhere, leave on time. Give yourself plenty of space. And then if something does go wrong and you are late, then at least you can phone way in advance and say, look, I'm on my way and this has happened. But don't leave it to the last minute and then something happens and then you're late. You know, I hate you send me 11 o'clock I'm leaving and 12 o'clock I'm still waiting on the coach for you. No. Yeah? Take your coach or take a coach and take a train and get yourself up there. That's just fair to everybody. That's what I say.
Do you know, I do hate latecomers. I do understand when you are late. I don't like it when people are late and they're just strolling in because they think, oh, it's 10 o'clock, coach ain't going to leave till 10:30. I'll come at 10:30. No. And I think that when you stipulate it, and you have to make it really specifically clear to people, right? We will not wait for you. And then no one is going to say anything. Put it in big print, say it enough times. Do not turn up late. Leave in enough time because other people have taken the time to get here early. Other people need places to go to, and it's not fair. Yeah. I never, ever want to be in a position where I'd have to leave someone behind. Never. But there are certain times where it's called for, especially if you've got 60 people on a coach and 58 people have turned up and 2 people haven't. What's that saying? And that's not fair on the 58 people that have taken their time to turn up on time or who have come from far.
I mean, I do a trip to Wales every year, a fitness trip. It's a Southern Fitness. And the trip is around about 6 hours, all right? And we normally say to everyone, get there for 6:30. And you give them a half an hour grace, right? Because remember, when you got a coach driver, they need to take a break. So if you're late, it's going to impact on everyone. We were supposed to leave at 6:30. We didn't end up leaving until 8:15, right? We were supposed to get there around about 1. We got there after 3 because the coach driver had to take a long break. I think there was one point we had to call in another coach driver to take over, or he had to take a long break, so we got there late. And it was unfair on everyone. And this year we said, you know what? If you're late, you are taking a train down there. We don't care. Leave on time. The person who was late at that time, she was one of the early ones. She made sure she came on time this time because it was a bit embarrassing, you know. But, yeah, it's not fair on everyone, and it's not fair on the coach driver. So, you know, 30 minutes, I say, you got your 30 minutes grace. After that, boom, let's go. Just go. Be the hated person in the world, but you know what? Let's just go. So definitely take every life, not for granted, but take it as a blessing.
And that's so true. I'm just sitting there on the coach on the way back and people are looking at images saying, oh my God, this person's gone, I think 2 lots, I think in the space of an hour. It was, that was hard going. And you're right, you know, do not take anything for granted, especially life. Every day, make every day count, make every day a blessing, because we don't know if we're ever going to see tomorrow at the end of the day, you know? So, always be nice, smile, and wake up and enjoy the day. However, you won't enjoy your day with these scammers being as sophisticated as they are, and they're getting more and more sophisticated. We've got new scammers. We're not hearing so much about the WhatsApp scams now. Okay, that seems to have been diluted out and died out. I think people have now clocked onto the scams. But there's another type of sophisticated scam that's coming in that we need to make you all aware of, and that's your digital wallets. Now, when you were able to pay via your phone, I didn't catch on to the trend. I was like, no, I'm using my cards. I'm carrying my cards around. And when you think about how many cards and loyalty cards, you remember you used to have a wallet full, something about this thick of loyalty cards, gift cards, all your cards loaded up. Come too heavy to carry. And then we had the apps, and then obviously we had Apple Pay and the Google wallets, and you can store all your cards, your loyalty cards, and everything in there without carrying a thing. However, it's as susceptible to crime as hard cash, as well as giving away your crime. Now, basically, the criminals transfer the bank cards of victims onto digital wallets of their own and then buy the goods online and then in high streets. So there's been warnings coming together to check. I don't even know how you can check. The only thing you can do is check your bank accounts all the time. But the scale and the speed at which the fraud has taken off has alarmed experts. So just expect in the next couple of months that it's going to really come into its own, and you're going to hear a lot of people getting scammed out of their digital wallets. Now, the fraud involves convincing you that you're getting a bargain online, or eligible for help with your energy bill, or some similar ruse that they will try and scam you with. And then you'll need to provide your bank details. Then the fraudsters use a temporary password supplied by the bank, okay, to the victim or to the person to transfer the payment card onto the criminal's own phone using their digital wallet. I know it sounds a bit confusing, but this is what they're doing in the background. So it's growing. And at the sheer scale it's growing at, they're actually highlighting this fact. Now, just be careful for when you are putting in your details into any system. We are bound by that now when we're shopping online. Put your cards or your details in, store your cards for future use, all of that. But be careful of the sites that you're going on. Now, I had a text message come through saying you're eligible for what was it? The winter fuel allowance or whatever it was. But it was in a text message, and I was part of a group. Now, I know that DWP will not put people in a group and send out messages like that, even though it said it's coming from DWP, and I never responded, and I'm not putting in my details. So if you are getting messages like this, even if it's from DWP or from your bank, go straight to your bank's website. Go and phone the number on your back of your card. Do not get the bank to ring you and start asking you for details. And I know some banks do. They might ring you and say that because you were dealing with a particular case, I need to verify you. I always call them back. I don't know who you are. I don't know if you're from my bank. I'll call you back. Thank you.
Yeah.
So be careful, people. Please check your digital wallets, check your statements often, and check that you are making the purchases that are on your card. And if you do find any issues, remove your card from your digital wallet, contact your bank, stop the card immediately also.
That is some really good advice, because the scammers, they do move very quickly, and
Very
people
fast.
can get caught out. And digital, technology of how we pay. I mean, obviously, people are finding ways around it, and we need to be very, very careful. So we're putting it out there for you guys. Definitely look into that one, and don't get caught out.
Please. Yeah. I'm telling you, I'm so glad I don't fall victim to these scams. And it's so funny when I saw the ones about the winter fuel payments, because, I used to collect them for my dad when he was registered here. And I'm thinking, why are they texting me? Normally you'll get a letter. And then I saw it was in a group, and I'm thinking, oh, you're having a laugh. I'm not even responded. I just deleted the whole thing. Deleted the whole lot. I didn't even bother trying to look into it, read anymore. I thought, well, if I'm entitled to it, I'll contact DWP. Thanks. And that's it. But the other thing that I want to bring to the news as well is that we've been talking about migrants coming into the country and the crossings that they do. Now, I've been reading a story that Channel migrants are now offered discounts if they film their crossing for TikTok. So the cost
of what?
Well, you've got the migrants. They have to pay these unscrupulous people with the boats a certain amount of money. Now, it ranges from between £1,500 to £6,000. Right, that's what they have to pay to get on a boat to cross these treacherous waters to get to the UK. All right, so they save up all their life savings. So that's why they're so desperate, because this is a lot of money for them.
Well,
Okay,
would
now the
be.
discounts range between £1,000 and £2,000 if they put it on TikTok. So the adverts show photographs of migrants in a boat using videos of the migrants themselves as an endorsement of the service. And he said,
Wow.
and they're saying that the incentives were offered for family groups, nationalities, women, and children, and they'll also offer discounts if they take a video of their journey as well as the pictures, and they can use it to promote the service.
Wow.
So I don't know how they're cracking down on social media, and it's really hard because I mean social media is used by millions, if not billions, of people every day, and you think how are going to monitor videos such as this on social media? I mean, what kind of a team would they have? They'd have to have a whole office of thousands of people trying to crack down on these videos. But the amount of money that TikTok makes, they could afford a fraud team. They could afford
Yeah.
to employ teams like this. And we know that Facebook and TikTok and Instagram, they don't do it. They just don't do enough, I think, to take down. They're good when you're playing music that you're not supposed to. Now, you imagine every time you play music, what happens? This is not going to be played in certain countries because of the copyright laws, or
Mm.
they just shut your video down on purpose. Now, they've got algorithms and bots that will shut you down immediately. I wonder
Mm.
how quickly they would do that for PDF files and things like that and posting up. Do the algorithms kick in and shut them down immediately? How is it that they're used to still advertise? I don't get this. I don't get how you can offer services to do an illegal service to cross the channel into
Mm.
the country and advertise it on TikTok and say we're going to give you a discount.
Gosh. It's a it's a weird times that we're living in. I tell you what, they are looking to make money any which way they can.
Well, the worst thing is, it's not just weird times. It's just, as I was talking about the film Adolescence last week, I mean, if we're seeing this on TikTok, what are our kids seeing? What are we allowing our children to watch? And if we can't access the dark web, what if they can?
Mm.
We may have
Well, they
stopped
most probably
knives.
they most probably can.
Oh, they probably so
They most probably
into it
can.
and hide it on their phones, and parents can't see where it is. And this is why parents, you can't, or us grandparents, we can't be ignorant to the fact that the internet is there, or we think we don't know how to use it and not bother to use it. If you don't know what your child's doing or know how to navigate yourself around there, how are you gonna control
Mm.
what they're doing? That's the
Yeah.
thing. And so you need to be internet savvy, you need to be social media savvy, and you need to keep up with the trends, and you need to know what your children are looking at and doing. Unfortunately, we just used to just deal with how they spoke on the street. Now it's how they speak on emojis, because that's a whole new language in itself, as well as some of the language that they're using. So please do not be ignorant to anything that's going on. Do your homework. Know about social media, know about some of the things that are being changed, and know what your children are doing. Now, and the last thing
Grandchildren
before you
for
pay
some.
it, yeah, and before you go into another track talking about social media, WhatsApp is soon going to limit the number of broadcast messages users and businesses can send. They're going to limit
Wow.
it. Yep,
What are they limit it to? Because at the moment it's 256.
correct. They haven't put what number they're going to limit it to at the moment. They've just put out there the stories just broke that they said they're soon going to limit. I haven't said how much. They said in the coming weeks, the company will start testing limits on individual broadcast messages. And under these limits, WhatsApp will put a monthly limit on the number of broadcasts. And they'll be moving limits during the test. So one
Wow.
example, Meta gave someone 30 messages a month. So what they're doing is that they're moving it around to see probably what works best. But you are no longer going to have a list of maybe 200 broadcast messages that you can send, because they're trying to stop the amount of spam, I think, on people's WhatsApps.
Oh wow.
And they said that if individual users want to send more messages to a large number of
You
people,
have to
they could
pay
use
for it.
their status or channels. You're going to have to get a channel up. So, and
Okay.
they're looking to put up similar guardrails around broadcast messages from business accounts as well. So up until now, WhatsApp business accounts could send free and unlimited broadcast messages, but the company is soon going to introduce a paid version of the feature with
Wow.
some additional tools.
Yeah, I
So
use
they're going to be
the
testing
business.
some new customized broadcast messages for
Mm.
product updates or holiday sales. So if you've got a business account that you're doing broadcast messages from, I don't think you're going to get them free anymore. And if you are a normal user, it's going to be severely limited. So you're going to have to
Wow.
get yourself a channel.
Mm.
Get
And
yourself a channel.
the channels I find can be a little bit confusing because I know that you can put a lot of information in there, but when you're trying to find certain things within the channel, and there's one that I use regular for one of the radios, it's a bit complicated, and for somebody who's not savvy on WhatsApp, may find it a little bit difficult. For those of you that don't know about broadcasts, when you get a message that's sent out by a promoter, we normally put it on like a broadcast, which it goes to all the different people, so you get the same messages. You know, like
It
when
looks
you get
like
the
you're getting a
radio,
personal message,
it
but
looks like it's
everyone's getting the
personal,
same
but
message.
everyone's getting the same one. So they're limiting that. And if they limit to the amount that you can do per month, that means that, for instance, with the radio show, we might send one out every day or every time we're on. Once we've hit our mark, we won't be able to send that out anymore.
Mm.
So it looks like, I don't know how we can get around it. I'm sure there's going to be a way around it. I'll find a
Channel.
way. Maybe
Breakfast
we
Flight
might
Show
get
channel.
yeah, let's get it up and running. We'll get that channel up and running.
And a special good morning to Empress Abina Lee. Long time I saw her over the
How you
weekend. She's so
doing?
beautiful, honestly. It's great to catch up with people. I love it when I haven't seen people for ages and I'm able to see them again. Lovely to see you, my darling. Thank you for joining the stream as well. Now, one thing that I've been watching on social media, I mean, this has been going around for a long time now. They're talking about the products in women's black hair care.
Hmm.
And I don't know why we're not really taking more notice of this, but the hair care market for black hair care is a total unregulated market,
Mm.
meaning it's not checked. And they're saying that a good 80% of the products contain uh, uh, carcinogens, cancerous carcinogens in them that we are using in our hair. Now, we knew about it with relaxers, and I think there's been a total decline in the use of relaxers in our hair. But still, some of the products that we are using, there's an awful amount of chemicals in them that is not good for us. And I don't know how much more notice we are taking of this. Now, I know we're going for the more natural styles, but we're still using a lot of products that we're buying from shops that are containing all these perfumes and these wonderful, you know, advertisements on front saying it's natural and it's this, that, and the other. And when you read the label, you see all kinds of chemicals in them, and you think, is this good for me or not? And I find it really hard to buy hair care products now because I don't know what's good for my hair and what isn't. So I'm learning to move away from these high street shops and go for online natural products where it doesn't contain an abundance of chemicals. Because, for instance, my hair can't take perfume. Anything that's got perfume in it, my hair will just start to itch away. So I don't like it when they put perfume stuff in products. But it is it is something that needs looking into. It needs further conversation. And last month, an analysis found that 80% of about 4,000 beauty products marketed at black women contained at least one moderately hazardous ingredient. And most contain multiple, which is quite disturbing. And amongst those products were obviously the hair straightening formulas. And they have health risks such as cancer and damage to the respiratory system, and toxic compounds that are added to hair conditioners. And some of those chemicals are linked to health risks that include cancer and damage again to the respiratory system. And there's a list of hazardous products, which I'm going to try and post. And a young lady has actually done some research and she's put together a PDF. And I'm going to try and send it out to everybody. And she's saying it's products she's actually familiar with and some products she hasn't. Some are targeted at children as well. John Frieda hair care she's mentioning, which is not really a black product, but it's specifically for curly hair. And there's a few others on there. But I'll get that PDF sent around for everyone to try and have a look and to try and get away from using some of these products that we are using. Now, I've got this full list up here, which is brilliant that this person has actually done that. And I'm going to send it into the group. I'm going to send a link into a group. And it's very, it's a long list, by the way. It's 128 pages. They've got African Pride in there. So those of you that use African Pride is named in there with lots of moderately hazardous and high hazardous products. What else is in there? Gosh, Ambi. I don't know who uses that. Some of these might be some American products. It's just that African Pride I know of. As I Am is another one that I used to use as well. That expensive product that looks good on the outside. They are full of some hazardous products.
Wow.
Yep. Let's see who else is on there. Aunt Jackie's stuff as well. This is absolutely a fantastic list. I'm going to have to send it through to you shortly. I'm only on the bees, and this is 128 pages long. So please, if you want a link to this list, please let me know. Join the WhatsApp group also, because the list will be going in there if you are not part of the Breakfast Flight Show WhatsApp group. Cream of Nature is in there as well. We all use Cream of Nature products also. Dark and Lovely is in there. Anybody use Dark and Lovely products also? Big Nanny's hair products is not in there. Is not in there, so you know that's absolutely brilliant. IC, if anyone uses IC, that's in there. And those Jamaican castor oil products, the Jamaican mango and lime, Jamaican coconut or whatever for your locks, they're all in there also. So let me send this out. Let's play a track, Sharky, and let's see what we come back with.
Okay.
Well, it is actually time for me to leave shortly. Some of the stuff I've got to talk about, I think I'm gonna cover next week. I've got some interesting bits to talk about there. But I hope you guys have had a really good morning. I've got to go and get on with some work now. And I just want to say goodbye to everybody, and I will catch up with you very soon. We're back next week, Monday, on the show. And I will see you guys again soon. Thank you for joining the Breakfast Flight Show. Yeah, hopefully.
No, we'll be back. Okay, then. Well, you have a lovely day, and see you shortly.
Bye, everybody.